In this video, I want to talk about 5 reasons why people buy land. 5 reasons why people buy land. And it may even apply to you that whenever you want to buy land, you will know which category does this land I want to buy falls into. So let's move into it. 5 reasons why people buy land. Number 1 is they buy to build. They buy to build. So the question is, are you buying to build? Whenever you want to buy any parcel of land, any piece of land, ask yourself, am I buying to build? So, and if you are buying to build, what kind of building? Is it for residential, or for commercial? These are questions you need to ask yourself. This will determine where it will be sited. For instance, it could be by the roadside. It could even be that when you want to buy in an estate, it will be by the gate side. That's why you need to understand right from day one, why am I buying this land? So if it is to be for residential, you may find a strategic place that, okay, this is where I want to be. I want to build. You may be someone who likes waterfront property. Maybe you want your property, you want your residential apartment to be in front of the beach. So that could be your reasons. So residential and commercial has there are so many reasons why you build for commercial. It could be that you want to build an office complex. It could be maybe a car wash. It may be maybe an event center. It could be for shopping mall. It could be maybe service apartments. You can see there are so many reasons for commercial. Service apartments. It could be maybe, let's say, it could be for hotel. It could be school. It could be hospital. You can see there are so many reasons. You need to define right from time, what am I using this land for? And just like I said, residential could be, is it for, maybe, are you building forward? Maybe you know that, okay, later, I just want to stay in there temporarily. I'm going to rent it out. That will help you also to know the kind of building you are going to erect. Because some people, they have built gigantic house in the first place, and eventually that house became idle later in the future. All these things helps you. So I'm sorry for taking our time, but let's move on. So number 2, the reason why people buy land is to farm. So are you buying the land to farm? When you want to buy to farm, it is important that you look at accessibility to water in case, okay, maybe it is not during rainy season. You may want to do your maybe irrigation. You want to simulate rainy season during dry season. So this may help you to know where to position your farm. So that's why it's important. You don't just buy any kind of land. You may want to know what is the texture of the land. What is the land good for? Is it good for plantain? Is it good for cassava? Is it good for onions? Is it good for watermelon? Is it good for cucumber? What kind of plants? What kind of crops do you want to plant on it? So it's good that you also know. So people buy land to farm. So, and even as a realtor, you can ask the person, why are you building? Why are you buying? Sorry, are you buying to build or are you buying to farm? So what is number 3? Why people buy? People buy to keep. They buy to keep. Why do they buy to keep? They buy as a container. We call it container of value. Container of value. Or store of wealth. Store of wealth. This is something we know most times as land banking. People buy to do what? To keep. So, and this is a good strategy, especially if you want to store your money, you want to store your value, not in the bank because of inflation or deflation, but because you know that, okay, land appreciates in value, and you buy to do what? You buy to keep. You buy to keep. It could be for 5 years, it could be for 10 years, it could be for 20 years. But majorly, when you are buying for land banking, it is majorly long-term in nature. And that's why it is different from the next one I want to talk about, which is to sell. Because when you buy to keep, you have not determined what you want to do with it. And at times you may determine that, okay, it is to resell later in the future, or it is for future developments. But when you are buying majorly to sell, this one now depends on whether is it short term or long term. Most times when you buy to keep, this is long term. When you buy to sell, most times is what? Is short term. This also could be short term, but most times is short term. To sell is short term, and that's when you begin to look at developed location, undeveloped location, developing location. When you are dealing with these two, it is very important that you understand those concepts. Are you looking at developed location? Okay, if it is for long term, if it is land banking, let's say you want to keep it for like 15 years, now that's definitely, you may want to go for undeveloped location 15-20 years. But if you are looking at to sell at for maybe in the next 3-4 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 1 year, in the next 6 months, that's majorly you may want to look for developed location or developing location. So all this determines the reason why you buy. So just like I said, this will also be for long term. But you need to determine your objective. Why am I buying this land? And number 5, the reason why people buy land is perpetuate wealth. To perpetuate wealth. What do I mean by to perpetuate wealth? Many people are just buying land, especially the wealthy that are already financially free, for their unborn children. They want to hand it over to their unborn children. So when you are buying land, which out of these 5, why are you buying? Is it to build? Is it to farm? Is it to keep? Is it to sell? Or is it to perpetuate wealth? Creating a legacy for your children, for your unborn children, so that you can more or less like to give them inheritance. So I think with these 5, I've been able to help us today to talk about 5 reasons why people buy land. 5 reasons you should consider. Why should I buy land? Is it for me to build? Is it for farming? Is it for to keep? Is it to sell? Or is it to perpetuate wealth? If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly do by clicking on the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I release a new video. Till we meet in our next video, stay blessed.